Hi everyone, Laura here. I am going through a little trick that I learned in troubleshooting cash basis reports in QuickBooks Online. There are multiple issues, so I'm not going to focus on all of them, but this one is a little bit of a maddening thing, which I found out a solution to. So if you remember in earlier videos, just a quick refresher, QuickBooks Online will pull in unapplied bill payments and unapplied customer payments into revenue and expense in the year that those transactions occur, whereas QuickBooks Desktop will ignore those transactions. So this creates a difference not only in current year P&L on a cash basis report between the two different accounting systems, but just as a warning or a heads up, this will also show up as a discrepancy in your retained earnings, because QuickBooks Online will assume that all of those unapplied payments and unapplied receipts have been applied and picked up in the P&L in prior years. So this creates quite a bit of potential havoc between converting between desktop and QuickBooks Online. So we're not going to go through all of that detail today, but I do want you to keep it in the back of your mind that that exists. Today I'm going to go through a particularly troublesome challenge. In a previous video we went through how to apply customer payments to open invoices. The exact same thing occurs on the vendor payment side, but it's a little bit trickier. So if you have, if you look at this report, there's an unpaid bills report, and this will show you any unapplied payments or credits or credit memos that haven't been applied to bills. And just like in QuickBooks Desktop, we'll ignore these. QuickBooks Online will show these as unapplied cash payments or vendor bill payments, and we'll pick it up in the P&L. So it's important to close these. So you can look at this unpaid bills report and you can scan through and just check if you have any negative numbers that aren't applied. So I went ahead and I had to create this one for another purpose. So you would think, oh, okay, cool, this is easy. All I have to do is go into pay bills. I put this credit with the appropriate bill and it's closed. But what you'll notice if you go into vendors, pay bills, because it's not a bill, it's a journal entry, you won't see it. Let me go back to this vendor, Nationwide. Okay, and I'm looking through all open bills and I don't have one. But if I look at the open payments report, I clearly see that I have a positive and a negative. So, and they have to be attached to each other, otherwise they're going to show up as unapplied in the reports. So how do you do that? Well, little trick I learned, if you create a bill for this vendor, just a fake bill, wait for QuickBooks to catch up. Insurance, bond. Let's call this a fake bill for $1. Okay, and then we're going to save and close it. Now we can go back to pay bills. Just select any account here. Okay, so now if we go back, I saved a little bit of time, but I went in and to open this bill that we just saved, click Mark as Paid. Now you can finally get to this screen which will show you how to apply this credit memo to the open bill. So what you want to do is you want to uncheck your fake bill. You want to make sure that the positive journal entry and the negative journal entry match up. You want to make sure you're actually paying out no new cash here, and then you can save and close. And then if we go to our fake bill that we needed, again, we only needed this bill here so that we could get into the screen. We'll go ahead and delete this one. So this is how you can get around the issue of not being able to get to the screen that you need to get to close out the open payable and the open journal entry. So this again was a journal entry that I had to enter into the books just so that the cash basis reports and the cash basis retained earnings in prior years would agree to what has been filed on the tax return, because desktop and enterprise do behave differently, and that difference not only manifests itself in the current year P&L, but the retained earnings for all the prior years as well. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a question below and I'll try to get to it. Meanwhile, happy troubleshooting.